Hello everyone, welcome to the OOPS concept in Shisha. In this video we will discuss about inheritance. In the previous videos we have seen about the classes and object and abstraction and encapsulation. So let's see what is the inheritance. So inheritance is basically a process of deriving the new class from already existing class, and basically we define this inheritance using the column like there is a base class and there is another derived class. So the derived class is basically inherited from the base class. So that is the inheritance. And Shisha is an object oriented programming language, and inheritance is one of the primary concepts of object oriented programming, and it allows to reuse the existing code. So that is the main use of the inheritance. Basically it provides us the functionality of reusing the code. We will understand about this in a bit. And there are a couple of the type of the inheritance available in the Shisha, and that is single inheritance and hierarchical inheritance, multi-level inheritance and multiple inheritance using interface. So Shisha doesn't allow the multiple inheritance, that's why we use the interface. Using the interface like this multiple inheritance is allowed. We will see about the interface in the coming videos. So let's see why inheritance is used in Shisha. For an example, I have a class, and that class is the full-time employee, and that full-time employee has some properties called first name, last name and monthly salary, and we are printing the full name. And there is another class called is part-time employee, which also has some variables as a first name, last name and hourly salary, and we are printing the full name. And we can see here like these two classes has lot of the code is duplicating. Like instead of a monthly salary and like the type of the salary, everything is common. So here what is happening, like the lot of code is duplicating. So to get rid of such kind of the scenario, inheritance come in the picture. In this inheritance, what we are looking here, like we have reprogrammed this existing these two classes. What we have done here, we have taken a one base class, and that is the employee. In this employee we have put the common code, like whatever the code which is common between full-time employee and the part-time employee, we have put it here, and the difference like the type of the salary we have kept into the respective classes. And what we have done here, we have inherited the base class, and the base class is employee, that we have inherited using the colon keyword. Here you can see inheritance is basically achieved using this colon keyword, and through that colon we have inherited the base class, and in the full-time employee and the part-time employee we have kept the respective property which is common which is respective to their classes. So we have keep it. So we have moved common code into the employee class. Now let's go to the Visual Studio, and here same code I have written. So I have created a one class of the employee which contain the common data, and here we have the full-time employee which contain monthly salary, and another is the part-time employee. And from the main method what I have created an object of the full-time employee, and I have assigned the values. And what I am doing, I'm like currently it is this full-time employee is inherited from the employee, like from the base class. So that's why we are able to achieve or access these variables. So that is the inheritance. Like this provides this functionality, like from this derived class, or we can say the child class, we are able to access the properties or the values of the base class. That's why we are able to access these, and then we are calling the full-time employee. So at point of this time, if I will run this one, so what it will print? It will print the .NET Office, whatever in the first name and the last name we have assigned the values. Now similar to this one, if I want to print for the part-time employee, so what I can do, I can write the part-time employee, and here I can put obj1 equal to new part-time employee. And similar to this one, like I can give object 1 dot first name, and here I can give as a dot, and if I want to like obj1 dot last name, and here if I will give office and part, so that I have put here. Now obj dot, if I will now like call this print full name, we can see this, like if you will right click on this function and go to the definition, like so, like go to the definition, it is taking us to the base class, means employee class. That method it is taking us. So now let's call this method, and this read line, what I will do, I will keep at last. So at point of this time, if I will run this application, we will see two messages. One is the .NET Office and another is the .NET Office part-time. That new message we have seen. So currently, like we are looking both the messages similar. Let's see what we are getting here. So currently, like again we are calling this obj method. So what we have to do, we have to take a new object of the part-time object. So let's save it again and run it. So we will see the message. So we can see the different message we are looking here. So this is the way we can achieve the reusability of the code. So we don't get much error also, like it's very less chance like we get the error. So these are the advantages inheritance give us. And another thing is, like when we create the base class, so like it call the constructor of like first constructor of the base class, then it call the constructor of the next class. Like for an example, like if I will take a constructor here, so public employee, and inside this one if I will take console.writeLine, and inside this one if I will write as a employee, and same like if I will take inside the full-time employee. So here like we have to take, like rename this one because it's a constructor employee, and here I will write full-time. Now instead of this one, what I will do, I will comment this line of code, and at point of this time we will run this. So first of all it will print this one because the base class constructor call first, then the derived class constructor call. So at point of this time if I will run this application, so what it will call, it will call the employee first of all, this constructor first, and then it will call the employee full-time constructor and the message, like that method which we have defined here, so that it will call. So in this way this constructor work into the inheritance. Now let's see next slide, like the type of the single inheritance in Shisha. So first is a single inheritance. The meaning of the single inheritance is like it is a type of inheritance in which there is one base class and another is the derived class. So basically what is the meaning of this single inheritance? Like currently we are inheriting with the one class. So this is the single inheritance we are doing here. Another is the hierarchical inheritance. The meaning of the hierarchical inheritance is like, so we have the employee base class and full-time employee, and the part-time employee is inheriting from the employee. So base class is allowed to inherit into the multiple classes. So that's why it allows us to the hierarchical inheritance. And the multi-level inheritance is like, suppose for an example I have another class. So let's, for an example, I will create another class like public class A, and now here you can see like this full-time employee is inherited from the employee. Now this full-time employee also I can inherit on the A. So this is like multi-level inheritance. So here full-time employee I can inherit, and it will not give any compilation error. Like we can like if I will build it, we are seeing like we are not getting any error. So this is example of the multi-level. Now multiple inheritance. So Shisha doesn't allow the multiple inheritance, like it will give a compilation error. and the meaning of the multiple is inheritance is like, so like currently it is, so let's get rid of this one, and we can see full-time employee is inheriting from the employee. Now if I want to inherit it from the class A as well, so it will give a compilation error. Like at point of this time, if I will run this, so it will give us the compilation error, and what it is saying, can't have multiple base class, like it doesn't allow the multiple base class. So instead of this one, we have the interface in the Shisha. We will discuss about the interface in the coming videos. So that is the use and the advantage of the inheritance. So that's it for this video. Thank you.